G'day, welcome back to the channel. This episode is, there's no escaping it. I've got to get back into the booth and start finishing that bodywork so I can put the Highfill in. So let's go. All right, so following off from last week, the engine is now wrapped in plastic. I've oiled it. I've got the other components oiled and wrapped in plastic as well. I've just been getting a few quotes for transport and then I've got to send it off. Yeah, like everything at the moment, it's been delayed, so there's no huge rush on that anyway. So now that is done, that's a huge weight off my shoulders because I really wanted to get that going. So now it's back into the bodywork, finishing off the filler, refining my skill, my techniques. So I'm finding the highs and lows, and then basically just applying that filler until I'm happy with it. I'd love to get some Highfill in this session, but I know that by watching other YouTube channels doing the same thing, the body filler process drags out a lot longer than you thought, because sometimes you're chasing your tail with certain things. Highs and lows are very hard to pick up, even with the splines and things like that in the Durablocks. So I'm just going to continue going forward, doing it all, and when I'm happy, get the Highfill sprayed. And then, that's pretty much it, ready for paint, which is, I can't believe it. The only thing holding it up, I really want to do that plenum. I wanted to get the body onto the chassis so that I can do the plenum. The engine could be months away, so I don't know how I'm going to get around it because it's going to slow things up. So I'm thinking I might have to just put the body back onto the chassis, which is not ideal because then all the running gear needs to be then put on with the body on, which is a lot harder. And that way I can do the body and paint the plenum and then paint it ready for the engine to come in, which I'll just have to scoop it in. But yeah, it's not ideal, but unfortunately it doesn't always work out the way you want. And that's probably the way I may have to do it, just to get things rolling. So first things first, body filler, let's go. All right, so I've got the body filler to a point. I'm really happy with it on this rear quarter panel on the left-hand side. So that's pretty much ready for high fill. Working away across, this still needs some work. Probably need to go over this one more time with a light coat, but it's pretty much there. This door needed a fair bit of work. You can remember that section was sticking up quite a bit, and this section wasn't really sitting straight, and it's still got a little bit to go in, but without doing any filler or rod work, I'm pretty happy with those gaps. I'm not going to go for really fine gaps. So I'm just going to keep it the way it was because it doesn't particularly worry me that much. It's not going to be a show car. I just want to get this back to the way it was. Rolling out of the factory, and they, as you know, they weren't even gaps on the doors or near the cowl panels. So it needs a little bit of work here. This is all, hasn't been sanded back yet, but this door was pretty rough. And yeah, from my repair, so it's just taken a little bit more work, but I'm pretty happy with the way it's all shaping up, considering I did totally remove that bottom section of the door. So I'm going to take those gaps and run with them. And so this is the other side, so the driver's side. This panel's really nice. I'm really happy with that, how that's turned out. This top section I've ironed out pretty nicely. Where the filler cap, there was a repair there. That's nice and flat now. All ready for high fill. This door, once again, gaps are pretty good. I'm happy with the gaps. Just straight off the bat, that'll do for me. It's sitting slightly proud there. Yeah, I don't think there's much I can do with that other than rearrange the hinges again and just try and get a little bit of a better fit. The guards, so I've brought the guards down and ironed out the repair there, and there's a couple of little sections there which are almost done. I've just got to sand that back. This guard, I've got the filler on for those repairs that I've done, and that won't take long to sand back. The bonnet is, from what I can see, doesn't require any filler. Now that might be just me being optimistic, but I've got the light on it, and I've gone down, and it just looks pretty much smooth, other than the slight orange peel of the epoxy cover. So I'll go over that with a light sand, and that will be, and then assess that. But in the meantime, that's pretty much, I just wanted to get the body in high fill, and I'm going to be doing that in the next day. I just wanted to get this episode out because I, been doing a lot of filler work and just needs to get out to update you guys. And I'm really happy with the way it's progressing. So I've got the high fill. I was going to do a polyester filler underneath the high fill after speaking to a guy, it's got another YouTube account called Car and Resto Things, I think it is. And he was mentioning that you really want to get a flat look, do that. And I spoke to the guys at Pero's in Bendigo, and he goes, unless you're really experienced doing that, using the polyester filler, you've got to sand it right back because it can over time degrade and push up your paint. So that's to you guys, to be honest, if you're just starting off, just use the, get your body filler right underneath, and then just do your 2K high build over that, and do 3 coats of that, or 4 coats, and start sanding. So I chose to do that, and we'll see how we go. I've got all the paint ready to go. So yeah, it's getting, it's almost there. So I'd just like to end on saying thanks very much for watching. I've just hit 5,000 subscribers. I never thought I'd get to that. So it's really good to see. And I wouldn't have been able to do it with all the community support and the feedback along the way. And I don't post very much as well. So I'm really stoked that it's got to that, although it's been a long journey. So that's it for this episode. I'm going to get it, the high build in the next couple of days and do another one. Also got an engine update. I've packed it in the pallet. It's ready to go. It's going in the next couple of days as well off to Adelaide, where that will start hopefully commencing in the next couple of weeks, which is really exciting. Can't wait to get to the point where I'm driving over to Adelaide to pick up that engine, because that's where, it'll really start to speed things up. So thanks again. Subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time.